glasses on so I can see. Okay, I'd like to call the August 22nd, 2013 meeting of the Planning Commission to order. We'll start with the roll call and let the record show that everyone is here with the exception of C.J. Brower. And we'll move on to the Pledge of Allegiance, which I am honored to lead tonight. Please stand. Hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, so this takes us to public comments. If we have anyone in the audience that would like to speak to some issue that is not on our agenda, now would be your time. Okay, seeing none, we're going to move on to the consent calendar. And all we have on the consent calendar is the approval of the minutes. Do we have a motion?
I'll move for approval. And I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No opposed. Passes. Okay, so then we go to our public hearing items, and the first one is a site development permit.
Yes, and Jennifer Mansour has a staff report this evening.
Good evening, Vice Chair and Commissioners. This item is an amendment to the site development permit for a Toll Brothers residential project that was originally approved by the Planning Commission on June 13th. The project was a residential development of 111 detached single-family homes that are arranged in a four-pack cluster arrangement with 5-foot side yard setbacks. The requested amendment is to allow for an alternative development standard to allow a 3-foot mechanical equipment setback. A 3-foot setback will allow the applicant to place slim-line air conditioner units in the side yards of the residences, which, according to the applicant, will improve the aesthetics and the usability of the rear yards. The zoning district for this property is residential within the Baker Ranch Plan community and requires a 4-foot setback for all mechanical equipment. However, the rest of the residential areas in the city only require a 3-foot setback. Staff is supportive of allowing this development the same 3-foot setback that is allowed throughout the rest of the city. Staff will be looking at proposing a change to this code requirement in the future to be more consistent with our municipal code. However, we chose to go forward with an alternative development standard for this case because of timing constraints with the residential development. Just as a quick update, the 3 Toll Brother projects are looking at pulling permits for model homes in the next few weeks, and they're hoping to have their models open in February of next year. The applicant from Toll Brothers is in the audience tonight, and I can answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
Do we have any questions? Okay, let's open the public hearing and bring up Mike Default. Did I pronounce that right?
Default.
Oh.
We're Canadian, so we always pronounce stuff a little different. Vice Chair, Commissioner, and staff, thank you for having us out here, especially in this busy schedule. But thank you so much. If I have any questions, if you have any questions, I'll be here to answer them. So,
if you could just give us your name and
Mike Default
and your
Brothers.
Residence.
It is Costa Mesa, California.
Great. That just sets the record straight.
I just moved from Arizona. So.
Well, we probably do have questions for you. Any questions? Nothing there. Okay, well, I won't let you go without at least something.
Okay.
Just explain to me again, I've read the staff report, but explain to me again why the air conditioner has to be in that position.
Well, with our product, if you look at the floor plans and the yards of our product, they're fairly small. We only have 5-yard setbacks everywhere. So in order to put our units in the locations we want to get them on the side yards, we have to encroach into that 5-yard space, which only leaves a 2-foot setback. Everywhere in the city so far, there's a 3-foot setback for equipment, but for some reason, I think in the site development plan, it's probably done a long time ago. On Baker Ranch, it had a 4-foot setback, and it probably was never revised. But for our product especially, because of the type of product, we're trying to get into the side yards with the 5-foot setback.
Now, it's actually in a part of the yard that's fairly inaccessible. We're just not right out where you make the corner from the big backyard into the side.
Correct. So ours is around the back corner. So basically, we have a block wall that comes out to the side and along the side of the property. So in the side, in fact, it won't even be accessible. I mean, you won't even be walking by it if you want to walk through your gate to get out of your backyard. You don't even walk past the air conditioning units. They're back in the corners. So
Okay.
we try to keep them out of the way of anybody walking through or path of travel.
Great, thank you.
All right.
Well, we don't have anyone else that wants to speak to this issue? Okay. We can't coach them into it. Let's bring it back up here and see what discussion we have.
Actually, I do have a question. I'm trying to get my hands around, based on what was just said, where the location of these units are now going to be, because I looked at one of the diagrams and it looked like they were on the side where you would, to get out to the front, you would have to walk by it. So can you maybe help?
Yeah, I believe if you're looking on the plans, they show the locations. So it really depends on how you access the yards. But the front two are kind of near the front fence and the side yards, adjacent to
Right.
the garages.
Yeah.
And the rear ones, they're actually on the opposite sides.
Right. Okay, that's what I'm talking about, the two, and in some cases where they pair up with just the wall between them, you're going to have at least one of those homes with windows right next to basically two units, if that configuration.
On maybe plan
On Plan 2.
or Plan 3. Plan 3 would be the garage. Plan 2, yeah, would be right next to, in between two windows.
Looks like the dining area there possibly, and then,
It's
of
next
course,
to the crate room, like there.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then right across on the other side of the block wall for the unit and next to it, their unit would be right there as well. Am I?
No, both of the other, I think all three of them are like garages except for the Plan 2. Which
Yeah,
is,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it would be next to the Plan 2, you would have the one for that residence, and then you would have the one for the residence next door within a very short proximity, a distance to them. The only thing separating them would be basically 2 feet and then a block wall, and then 2 feet on the side of the block wall.
It would be 3 feet
So-
for the 3-foot setback. But I believe that if you had, in most configurations, the one next to it would actually be Plan 3. It wouldn't be another Plan 2.
I know.
So it would be the garage next to it on the adjacent lot. But on their lot, it would
That's right.
definitely be. Right.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. The Plan 2 had potential to be adversely affected. Maybe. I don't know yet. I was
it'd
trying
still
to
be
just
6 foot
understand that.
separation because there'd be 3 foot from the unit to the wall and then another 3 foot from the wall to the unit, to the next
Right.
unit.
But originally, it was going to be in the back of the house, correct?
For the two front ones, that's where it was originally placed
Right.
before they realized what they were doing, because then they were putting them too close to some of the doors and sliding glass doors. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it wouldn't work.
Okay.
And when we went to the slimline units, we have a quieter noise rating,
Right.
so we kind of tried to help out that way.
Right. Okay. I just want to make sure I understood it.
Any other comments? Commissioner Hamilton?
I'm going to say some fun things tonight. I'm totally in support of this and will be voting for it, but it feels like it's a little bit different than what the standard is, and so similar to a U-Haul type item that recently came before us, where we accepted something that was different than the standard. I'm just concerned that the press that we might get from accepting a different standard. I'm saying this all with a smile, tongue in cheek. So nothing against you, but I've said my piece.
Okay, well, I'm for this as well. I think the 1 foot difference is minimal, and the fact that we have a large precedence because it's being done throughout the rest of the city makes it pretty clear that this is an appropriate thing to do. I'm not particularly worried about bad press, so so I'm willing to move forward. Do we have a motion?
I'll move staff's recommendation for site development permit 8-3 13-3499, ending site development permit 2-13-3145.
One second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None showing? Okay, passes. Thank you very much for coming in. I'm glad we can help you out with your progress on your houses, and we're definitely looking forward to it. Yeah, for sure. So that brings us to item number 3, which we have been informed that the applicant has some ongoing issues that they have to resolve with Southern California Edison. That's not unusual. So we would like to postpone this to another regularly scheduled meeting. So I'm going to move that we table this item to a future meeting.
And I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed. Okay, passes. Very good. Thank you. Wow, that takes us to director's comments.
I have just a few comments this evening. Just a recap of Tuesday night's council meeting. The council upheld the Planning Commission's denial of the PCN for the Muirlands Market and Liquor and Delaware, and they approved the TrueMark project, as well as the second reading for the Brookfield project. At the council's next meeting on September 3rd, they will be interviewing, I think we have approximately 15 candidates in line for the Planning Commission spot. And so at our next meeting, which will be September 12th, we should have a full house of commissioners.
And one question was, and I think Peggy already answered off sidebar, but will we need to reorganize again once we have a new commissioner, or do we continue on as is?
Likely the answer is continue on. We need to take a look at the bylaws and understand exactly what the parameters are and what the requirements are, but likely it's continue on until the normal time for reorganizations at the Planning Commission level.
Okay, great. All right. Mal, do you have any further comments?
Actually, I have a question for the previous comments. Would you mind telling the city council to stop overturning items? Yeah, no. Actually, both, yeah, I guess this would only apply to a previous meeting.
Okay, Mal?
I have no comments.
Thank you. Commissioner Verplank?
I have no comments.
Commissioner Hamilton?
I'm good.
Okay, it's up to me. Now, Commissioner Hughes or past Chairman Hughes would have found another 10 or 20 minutes, but I'm not going to follow in his footsteps. I would say that the one thing I did want to leave with is I'm a little disappointed that we don't seem to be enforcing this rooftop codes. You know, it just keeps to be dragging on months and months, and we have several blatant. I would say I guess I don't want to call them violators, because they probably don't understand, or that maybe they think they don't have any other alternatives. But some minimal screening would comply with our current codes, and because I just think that we're going to wind up with more and more people doing it, and then all of a sudden we're going to find out that they're going to come back to us. Well, you know, Alcon's doing it, or Panasonic's doing it, and what can we say? So that's a concern I have, and I would sure like to see if we can find ways to resolve this. That's it that I have.
You know, I actually have one more thing.
Okay.
I wanted to thank staff. As it may be known, I recently moved, and there was an unpermitted item in the residence that we purchased, and because of city staff, there were some modifications needed to make our home safe. So I wanted to thank staff for doing the right thing, and I thought it was well done, professional. The inspector came out, just told it like it was. You always hear horror stories about those kind of things, and that probably had a little apprehension, but I thought everything went great, and now we have a safe house, and I'm extremely happy to. I wasn't a customer because I don't think I paid for it. The previous owner did, but I would call myself a happy customer. So I needed to thank staff for that.
Yeah, you might want to pass that back to the planning desk or who gets involved, and I will ditto that because I just did some remodels on my back patio, which required permits, and they are just a pleasure to work with. Randy behind the desk helped me out before we started to make sure that my plans were going to meet codes, and then I don't remember the name of the inspector that came out, but he was great. A couple of times I talked to him, other times he talked to my contractor. My contractor even said he was great to work with, so we'd love to have you pass that along. And I'll just end with thank you for making this a nice short meeting. I'm going to adjourn to our next regularly scheduled meeting, which I'm going to tell you when it is here, to September 12th.